prices, then that clash in the Arkle is very definitely on at this stage, as we're 10 weeks away from the festival. Just for interest, punters and bookmakers have decided Maracuja is going to be the one most likely to chase the favourite home. Stephanie Francis, you can get about 16-1 about that. Obviously, there's no each way, there's only 4 runners. And for those that are interested, the best I've seen on the betting without is 4-5 Maracuja and 11-10 Stephanie Francis. Any price you like. The bottom one, Mrs. Robinson, in case we get chaos on soon. But I think we had most of that at Wincanton yesterday. So, look, it's got a row of ones by its name. It looks as though that's going to be extended. 8-1 on's the best I've seen about Altior. Some bookmakers are going 10-1 on, but he's going to return 8-1 on what we've seen so far. And, look, we just wanted him to jump around and get ready for Cheltenham in March.
Yeah, Altior, a warm order at the top of the betting. I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by Nico de Bonville, who I saw in the Henderson huddle, so I've managed to grab you. Before we touch on Altior, can I just get an update on you and your well-being and when we'll see you back in the silts?
Yeah, everything's going well. We're going to review everything towards in a week's time, see how we are, and then we're back and ready to go again. But we've been in the gym a lot, doing lots of rehab, and obviously these bones take time to heal, so it's just a case of using the time wisely.
How have you found watching on from the sidelines?
Very frustrating, but what can you do?
You would have seen Altior make his chasing debut and seen him last time out. I mean, he has been seemingly, to our eyes, very, very good over fences. What have you made of him?
Well, I always knew that he would do that eventually, I think. When we schooled him at the back end after the Supreme last year, he was fantastic over his fences. So I think he's sort of showing what we always thought he could do and would do. So, hopefully he'll have another good day today and a nice bit of schooling and see how he is.
I know it's been said before, but he really has grown a lot from last year into this season, hasn't he?
Well, everyone was asking us whether we go for the champion or for the Arkle, and he sort of took that decision out of our hands, really, by the way he had grown through the summer, and he's built up, and he looks almost the finished article now.
We're going to have a look at the closing stages from Sandown. He went in there as a warm order at the top of the betting. He made it in the early part of the race, just a few sort of novice errors, but what have you made of the sort of shape he's making over his fences and how he's gone about his business over the obstacles?
And he's a really good athlete, isn't he? And he's been doing it really well, and I love the shape he's made. We've done a lot in the top school over show jumps and things, and he's just a natural, and he's a really exciting prospect.
Absolutely, this was a very, very impressive display, and I love the way he picks up after the last as well.
Yeah, he's always just seemed to take a bit of time just to wind up, but once he's wound up, he really does find those few extra gears. This time last year in the hurdle here, he just took a bit of time just to wind up, and once he got round the bend, he was off. So, and he's won it on the flat there, hasn't he, really?
Well, horses like this, Connie Greaves of the world, they're horses that I bet you're itching to get back and ride. Just on the sort of saying chaser division, what did you make of Thistlecrack yesterday?
He was very impressive, wasn't he? To beat Q-Card like that was a really good performance. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the Gold Cup, when you put all the other horses into the mix, and hopefully they all stay injury free and come back, and we'll have a really good race on our hands.
Have you spoken to Mark and Sarah? Do you know how Connie Greaves is?
Yeah, they were on the phone straight after the race yesterday and discussing how you beat him. But no, he's in good form, so unfortunately he missed that race, but hopefully he'll be fine after.
Well, thank you for coming over. Appreciate your time, and best of luck with your recovery. Look forward to seeing you back in the saddle soon. Thank you to Nico de Bonville. Bring Jonathan Neeson in. Appreciate that from Nico. And just explaining the work that goes into making this horse what he is, and the work that they're putting in behind the scenes, and what he's doing on track makes up into a pretty polished article.
Yeah, and he's told you all you need to know, really, isn't it? Other than it, just to emphasise just how much of a chaser he looks walking around the paddock, which wasn't evident last season, and you can see why they're going down this route. It should be barring accidents, another straightforward task, but he is. You look at what he's done, he's potentially a superstar, and there are always potential superstars who don't make it, but he's another one.
And a horse like Maracuja, who's a bit of a handbrake off type, wasn't able to take him out of his comfort zone last time, so he's been presented with that possibility before.
Yes, he has, and Maracuja's a good solid yardstick, at his best on Paul Nicholls always thinks on flat tracks. So he'll give his running, no doubt, but he won't be good enough.
Stephanie Francis, the mare for Dan Skelton and Bridget Andrews.
Yeah, I mean, she's a nice horse, Stephanie Francis. I just wonder about her going this way round. The recent chasing efforts have all been going left-handed. She likes being held up, so no doubt Bridget would be trying to sort of sneak past Maracuja at the very least.
And Mrs. Robin, the 100 to 1 outsider of the four, will get £2,132 if she can complete and finish fourth.
Yes, and she'll be staying on at the end.
What do you want to see from Altior? Just more of the same?
Yeah, just a nice fluent round and everything go to plan.
Coming into line, and they're off. The 32red.com Wayward Lad Novices Steeplechase is grade 2 over 2 miles, and Maracuja will race them into the home straight the first time. 12 fences to take, Maracuja leading from Stephanie Francis. Now the hot favourite Altior lands in third over jump number 1. A slight mistake at the back of the field from the big outsider Mrs. Robin as they make their way towards the second. So it's Maracuja and Sean Bowen who lead from Stephanie Francis. Altior jumping 1 in third. Mrs. Robin, another mistake at fence number 2. She's already about 8 or 10 lengths behind the other trio. This will be the last. Next time round, Maracuja with the lead. Landed safely overhead by about 3 or so lengths to Stephanie Francis, who's just ahead of Altior down to the inside and a good 10 lengths away to Mrs. Robin, last of the 4. So a lap to go in the Wayward Lad Novice Chase, and it's Maracuja who's 2 out of 3 over fences so far, leads them down the side of the track to Altior, last season's Supreme Novice Hurdle winner at the Cheltenham Festival. Done little wrong over fences so far, 2 out of 2, having taken the Henry VIII Novice Chase in Grade 1 company at Sandown most recently. Stephanie Francis enjoyed a good time with things over fences and timber in her career so far. Out wider from Altior as they step over this plain one. Mrs. Robin now about 15 to 20 lengths behind. The others are not really raising a gallop at all. Now their first open ditch. Maracuja really stood off that one. Landed with about a 3-length lead. From Stephanie Francis at Altior, Mrs. Robin continues, but now a good 30 lengths behind the others. Into the back straight ahead to face up to the 4 fences down this part of the track. There's Maracuja, who leads under Sean Bowen. From Stephanie Francis and Bridget Andrews, racing on the outside of Altior, and Noel Feely is trying to win the first 3 races on the card here at Kempton today. Mrs. Robin about to race into the back straight now, a mile behind the others. Fence number 6, Maracuja, in a little close there, landed to about a 2-length call from Stephanie Francis at Altior, only a half length in behind. This is fence number 7. Maracuja over safely from Altior, jumping up between horses here, and Stephanie Francis, and Mrs. Robin does continue, but nearly a fence behind now as they race towards their final open ditch. 5 out, Maracuja with the lead from Altior, who again jumping really well, lands only a neck behind, about 4 lengths away to Stephanie Francis, and about 2 furlongs away to Mrs. Robin. The final fence over on that back straight line. Maracuja still with the lead, poised in behind though. Altior just a neck behind, 4 or so lengths away to Stephanie Francis. Mrs. Robin about to come towards that final fence in the back straight line. So back towards home they head. Altior looming up on the outside of Maracuja, who still just about has the head in front, but now here comes the hot favourite Altior to lay down the challenge. Altior now just edging into the lead from Maracuja, 15 lengths away Stephanie Francis. This will be 3 out. Altior and Noel Feely up and over safely from Maracuja, who's now under pressure in second to keep tabs on this leader, who's barely done anything to get to this position. Now 3 lengths ahead, Altior, as they race over 2 out. Altior up and over safely. Another really nice leap from in second Maracuja. Stephanie Francis over that one, now 20 lengths behind as Altior comes down towards the final fence with the race at his mercy. Here he is now, and he's popped over very safely indeed. Altior, no problems at all here for Altior. He's going to make it unbeaten in 3 starts over fences as he wins the Wayward Lad Novices Chase very easily indeed. Double for Nicky Henderson and a treble for Noel Feely. Altior beats into second Maracuja, Stephanie Francis in third, and Mrs. Robin has still got 1 more fence to jump.
Altior it is who wins and adds to the, as the cheer goes up at Kempton for Mrs. Robin, adds to the Grade 1 that he secured last time out with winning the Grade 2 Wayward Lad Novices Chase in. Well, it was a piece of cake, wasn't it?
Might have been a piece of cake, but it was an extremely impressive piece of cake. He doesn't appear to have come out of second gear. He's 2 seconds inside the standard time.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. And he didn't make a semblance of a mistake. He's dispatched Maracuja, who I think has probably run better than it did at Sandown, with infinite ease. Yeah, everything you wanted to see.
He's already pretty close to the finished article, isn't he?
Well, he's getting close to the finished article. I mean, he's a very short price for the Arkle.
7-4 with Bet Victor. Just
there will be contenders coming from the other side of the water, but I should think this is one of those occasions where they'll be looking at it thinking, blimey.
Because of what he did to most of them in the Supreme, the likes of Min, etc. He's already beaten them over hurdles.
Yes, and he looks as if he'll be every bit as good and possibly better as a chaser. I mean, that was... He should have done that, but this should have, and actually doing it, and that in many ways is the most impressive of the 3 runs so far as a chaser.
And with each of those 3 starts, where there were in the initial part of the Sandown race a few novice-y sort of mistakes, if you like, here he's a bit more intelligent at his fences when he is getting in a bit close, or when there is the possibility of making a mistake.
Yeah, he's just getting more savvy, as you'd hope he would be. There's 5 out, which I think is the last day.